It was a typical Monday morning when I walked into the office, coffee in hand, my thoughts already occupied with the weekly meeting. I had been with the company for nearly 8 years, working my way up from junior analyst to team leader. I wasn't at the top, but I had earned respect, and I genuinely enjoyed my work. The buzz around the office was about the arrival of a new director. While no name had been released yet, everyone seemed eager to find out. At around 9 a.m., the announcement email landed in our inboxes. I opened it without much thought. Then I saw the name. I had to read it 3 times for it to register. Emily Carter, my wife of 6 years. My heart skipped a beat. We had always kept our careers separate. We never worked in overlapping industries. At least I believed we didn't. She had told me she worked in marketing consultancy, and I never questioned it. Apparently, she'd been pursuing an executive position right under my nose. I immediately messaged her, stunned and puzzled. No answer. My hands shook slightly as I prepared for the team meeting. Everyone was whispering about the new boss. Some were curious, others uneasy. I stayed silent, my thoughts in a storm. At exactly 10 a.m., Emily entered the conference room, her heels clicking with confidence on the tiled floor. She wore a sharp suit and an unreadable face. There was no trace of the woman I kissed goodbye just 3 hours earlier. Her eyes swept the room and paused momentarily on mine. Cold, blank. "Good morning," she said, firm and formal. "As your new executive director, I'll be initiating several changes immediately." No one but me picked up the strain in her tone. Colleagues glanced my way, brows raised, silently asking, "Is that your wife?" I nodded faintly. Confusion spread across their faces. As the meeting continued, she outlined major restructuring, new team alignments, and an aggressive growth roadmap. Then she stopped, looked straight at me and said, "As part of this reorganization, certain roles are being eliminated." She turned toward HR, who handed her a folder. "Mr. David Carter, your role has been terminated. Effective immediately." The room fell silent, like the air had been sucked out. I blinked, trying to grasp what just happened. Everyone stared at me, stunned, awkward, some filled with pity. I stood slowly, a mix of anger and disbelief burning inside. "Can we speak privately?" I asked, keeping my voice even. "Everything that needed to be addressed has been," she said coldly. "Security will escort you." She turned away like I was just another terminated employee. Not her husband. Not the man who stayed up with her during her darkest nights. Not the man who believed in her when she doubted herself. Not the man who made her coffee each morning. As I gathered my things, HR watching quietly, co-workers avoided eye contact. I kept asking myself, why? Was this revenge? Was it about dominance? Did our relationship mean nothing to her anymore? That night, she returned home like nothing had happened. She placed a bag on the counter and asked, "What's for dinner?" I stared at her, stunned. "You fired me today, in front of everyone." I shrugged. It was strictly business. Emotions don't belong in the boardroom. Her indifference was like a slap. "You could have at least warned me," I said. "If I had, you would have tried to change my mind." "I did what was right for the company," she said, voice ice cold. It hit me then. I didn't know this woman anymore. Ambition had swallowed her empathy. Control mattered more to her than connection. The next morning I packed a bag and left. I didn't tell her where I was going. She didn't ask. I crashed at a friend's place while trying to gather myself. Job hunting was tough, especially with that public dismissal hanging over me. Word got around fast. Some admired her boldness. Others thought it was cruel. I stopped caring. My focus turned to starting fresh, healing, and figuring out how I missed all the warning signs. Weeks passed, then months. I landed a new job at a smaller company, far from the backstabbing world of big corporations. The salary wasn't great, but the peace of mind was priceless. Emily reached out later. Not to say sorry, just to justify herself. "You were in the way," she said over the phone. "I needed autonomy. You wouldn't have allowed that." She was wrong. I would have supported her leadership. But I never expected her to disrespect me so completely. The divorce was quick. I didn't contest anything. Not the house, not the car. I didn't want any reminders of her. I learned how to breathe again, how to laugh, how to trust. I also learned that sometimes, the deepest wounds aren't inflicted by enemies, but by those who once whispered love into your ear. Firing me may have been her strategic move, but for me it was freedom. I didn't just leave a job. I escaped a marriage that had quietly been suffocating me. Today I live a quieter, simpler life. Honest, clear. No lies, no manipulation, and definitely no CEO in the living room.